now, another one of my favorites, Heathen Dogs, Heathen Dogma, Tabletop Gaming Fundamentals, Rifts Ultimate Edition.
Well, thank you, Garth. I appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Glad to see you here. Today, we're going to go over character generation for Rifts. Now, I had a poll done, but before we get that, I have to go to the particulars because the OCC that won the poll is historically awful. So I went online, I went to all different sources, like, okay, is there any errata? Is there any revised? Is there any newest edition that makes this character class palatable, let alone playable? And I did. In the August 2005 Ultimate Edition, which is pictured here, they completely revamped the class from my book, which is the regular 1990s one.
That's what I got.
Yeah. All of us old timers, we have the 1990s edition, and this class sucks. No one plays it. No one wants you to play it. If you play it, you get laughed at.
You might play it once or watch someone else play it once, but after that, it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, they make really good 10th level bad guys, but not first level heroes. As a matter of fact, let's go see who let's go see who the big winner was.
Shifter
eking out Burster by 5%.
Burster's cool though.
Burster is cool. I mean, it's an awesome class to play if you just love pew beating crap out of people. Burster's way to go.
Shifter is cooler than Operator, sort of. I play operators.
You actually played an operator in a Rifts game that we were in.
Yes, I did. Yes.
So you can't say
you
never played a shifter.
I did in high school.
Okay, in high school.
I died mercifully quickly.
Oh yes, thank you. But the shifter we're gonna make is the one from the Ultimate Edition, so he's actually useful. All right, let's go over the basics of character creation.
Let's do that.
All right. Step 1, we roll attributes.
All right.
Step 2, we decide what our hit points to SDC are going to be. Well, not decide, but we roll them.
Yes.
Step 3 is determine if you have a psionic ability or not.
Yeah, you're a shifter.
Yes. Shifter, so not initially, no. Step 4 is you pick an OCC or an ICC.
Yeah.
That's a character class or a racial character class.
Right.
Step 5 is you choose your skills. And step 6 is you round out your character with all of the minutia. Like birth order, disposition, height, weight, whatever, hair color. Does he have a lazy eye? Whatever. You do that. So let's get started. First with attributes. Now, as I said earlier, you roll attributes by rolling a 3d6. If you roll a 16, 17, or 18, you roll an additional d6 and add it to your result. So this is what I rolled. Now it's pretty average. You want to talk about it? It's average. I mean, I have one outlier up and one outlier down, and the rest of them are they're around average. Now, the shifter, you need a 12 in IQ and ME, intelligence quotient and mental endurance, to be a shifter.
Wow, make it.
Yeah, but they don't tell you the most important attribute in being a shifter.
What attribute would that be, my friend?
Oh, I don't know. I just highlighted a little bit. Mental affinity, and that becomes readily apparent if you read the new shifter description, which I did, and don't worry, I'm gonna tell you about it. Okay, so what else we got? Well, we have to see our hit points. For human,
that's physical strength of 4.
Yeah. I'll say. Oh, you want to talk about that?
My preteen daughters can beat you up.
It's true. Okay, now, in the Ultimate Edition book, they actually have detriments for low attributes.
That's actually a good idea.
Yes, and if for a physical strength of 4, all of your physical damage and throwing distance is reduced by half.
Ooh, youch.
So you roll a punch, it's a D4, you divide it half. And you can go to 0. It actually says that half of 1 is 0. So.
Right. Since they aren't putting minuses on low stats, you'd have to do something to. Oh yes. Man.
Exactly. So he's not going to be getting any fistfights anytime soon.
Not that he hopes to win.
Not that he hopes to win. No. But speaking of fistfights, let's talk about hit points. Hit points for humans.
My cat can knock you down.
Stop it. Is actually pretty easy. It's just your physical endurance attribute. That's it. For other races, Wolfen, for, other extra-dimensional, beings that you can actually play in Rifts where it's adjusted, you get minuses, you get bonuses, stuff like that. It's straight PE. That's it. So I got an 11. And then every level I gain up to 15, which is the max level in the game, I get an extra D6 roll on every level. And that's it. That's my hit points. Now, SDC, if you have a fighter type class or a big, burly, strong race, you get a special roll for that. Like if you are a Borg, you get boned with hit points and SDC. But if you are say a juicer, you will get hundreds of SDC. Just like it's like 3d4 times 100 or something SDC and all kinds of stupid hit points. But a shifter, and like many men of magic, they just get your base, and the base is 2d6 plus 12. So I rolled 2d6 plus 12. I got 22. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, happy with that. Now, bear in mind, both hit point and SDC is a soft stat. Now, what I mean by that is that later on in the skills, I could get physical skills that increase either one of those by whatever amount. And your stats also at this point are considered soft because physical skills can increase your stats right out of the gate before you even start playing. But like I said, we're going to get to that one. First, we're going to see if I am going to be psionic. Now, there's 3 ways to get psionic powers. 1, get a racial character class that has psionics, like a burster or a mind melter or whatnot. You get an OCC that gives you psionics, like an operator or a cyber knight. They get psionic powers as part of their class. Or if the GM approves, you can roll randomly. Well, since I'm the GM, I approve. So I want to roll randomly. Thank you. So to be a master psionic has 8 psionic powers in one of the 3 categories: sensitive, physical, and healing. Or 6 psionic powers across all 3 categories.
Dang.
But you have to roll a 1 to 10%.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to roll a 1 to 10% on a percentile die. Or you can be a minor psionic, you roll 1125. A minor psionic gets 3 powers in one category or something like that. It's kind of weak, pretty pathetic. But hey, it's extra stuff. It's for free.
Everyone likes extra stuff.
Yeah, and if you roll 26 or higher, you just don't get anything. And I rolled 46. I didn't get anything.
Nuts.
Yeah, that's just the way it goes. Now let's see what else we got. Now we get to choose your OCC. We already know we're going to be a shifter, so we go shifter. Now, what is a shifter? Well, he's a magic using class. He specializes in the manipulation of dimensional energy. He can actually create rifts. All right. Now he in the original book, this wasn't a natural ability of his. He had to use a spell like everybody else. But in the ultimate book, he can actually create a rift at a nexus point. He can summon and control supernatural creatures from these rifts.
That sounds
he can
safe.
Yes, he can travel via rift very easily. This is what he does. He goes to a rift, he closes his eyes, and he senses it. He can tell several things about the place on the other side that no one else would have any clue about unless they sent someone in first. After a few seconds of concentration, he can tell that the other side of the rift is a pocket dimension, an artificial dimension, or a straight up regular dimension. He can tell if it can support human life or not. He can tell if it's magic rich or not. He can tell if there's any kind of unusual characteristics, like the air is mostly methane or whatever. He can tell that just by closing his eyes and sensing it before he has to step through.
That's useful.
Very useful indeed.
Otherwise, everything would be all right. Wait, send in the probe. All right, get the probe
exactly
back.
Right. Yeah, it's all Stargate at that point.
Yeah.
Send them out. Always send them out first. No, you don't have to. You just it's good. Or nope. There's no air there. Nope, we don't want to go there. Stuff like that. And he can communicate with other dimensions via micro rifts. Now, what this is it costs between 50 and 200 PPE, which is basically your mana reserve, to open a micro rift. It's a rift the size of about a grapefruit. Not enough for anything to get through, but enough to create a 2-way communication between the shifter and a supernatural entity on the other side. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, many reasons. You're like, hey, what's up?
Entertainment.
Yeah, or how are you doing? What do you like? What's your universe like? They love gathering knowledge about other dimensions, other species, other ways of thinking. Like they love that stuff. Yes, all that kind of cool stuff. Plus, it allows them to do something that I would never do, but we're going to get to right now. Is it right now? Yeah, it is. Okay. Shifter specific stats. This is the stuff that as a shifter you get at level 1. Now, at level 2, 3, 4, 5, and up to 15, these will increase. You'll get more, but this is your level 1 guy. Plus 4 save versus horror factor. You're used to seeing crazy stuff. I mean, it's just your way of life. You know, you are a guy who specializes dimensional travel, finding people with 8 heads who, you know, breathe out of their butt and crap out of their nose is Tuesday.
I was
You know,
thinking
you're
more
not.
like things that whose very existence warps space around them and causes hallucinations and wishes you to claw your own eyes out and die.
That's a really bad Saturday night. That's not Tuesday.
That's not Tuesday. That's
That's not Tuesday. But in either case, you get a +4 to save versus that horror factor. And you get a +3 to save versus possession of mind control, because the very first thing that your teacher teaches you when dealing with supernatural beings is to protect yourself. All right? Keep your mind shut. Don't let this dude in. You don't know this guy.
Don't
You
let
know?
him all over your brain stems.
Don't let him run all over your brain. You know, you don't need that stuff. All right, now PPE, potential psychic energy. This is your juice. This is your mana. This is your magic battery. Okay, and you are, like all meta magic, you can store it in your body naturally. Now, the shifter has a random roll of 2d6 times 10 plus 10 plus your PE attribute in initial potential psychic energy mana, and then you get an additional 2d6 every level thereafter up to 15. I rolled 110, which is good. It's a good roll. It's not awesome roll, but it's a good roll. It's a good roll. I like that. 110. It's a good starting amount. Now, link to the supernatural. Now, this is super optional. This is GM optional. This is another use for that little micro rift I'm talking about. All right, something I would never do, especially at level 1. This is just dumb. You open a micro rift to another dimension and you speak to a powerful entity there, and you make a pact with this entity. You choose to serve it, and then you, in return, this entity will connect itself to you and increase your powers, not dramatically, but substantially. Now, if you're a bad guy, any old supernatural entity will probably do. If you're a good guy, you probably want to take your time and vet this guy.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, a little bit. You know, this is not something you're doing at level 1. But if you're a bad guy and you know, you don't care how the sausage is made, then hey, anyone will do. But yeah, not me. Pass. Hard pass. Now, starting spells. These are all your starting spells right down here. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's a lot of them there, which is radically different than the original book.
All right.
But someone to control canines and someone to control rodents. The rodents one's just creepy. I want you to think about, you know, some dark roby guy walking up to you and suddenly snapping his fingers and hundreds of rodents coming up and just swarming the area. You know,
well, everyone needs a hobby.
Everyone needs a hobby, yeah.
It is pretty creepy. That's
Yeah, it is
50. That's or 70. That's a dang.
Well, yeah,
That's
that's
worse
because
than canines. Wow.
yeah, it's not just calling a rat.
No, it's a swarm. It's a giant,
it's a swarm.
giant swarm.
Yeah, it's a giant swarm. This is not some weird stuff.
Does it do
Sense
mega
evil,
damage?
sense magic. Shadow meld is pretty cool, where you actually not just hide in shadows, but physically become one with the shadow. So normal detection is not possible. You're not there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Energy bolt is your basic pew pew, you know, your basic mage pew pew. That's
you
fine.
need that.
You know, all these other ones are constrained being. That's, you know, I let something out that I shouldn't have got out. Let's try and hold it while other people smash it in the face. That's like a Hail Mary, I messed up button. You press that one. But those are all your starting spells. At second level, at every level after that, you will be able to choose from a long list of spells that you get, and you get 1 or 2 per level every level after that, which is great. You keep adding to your list, and of course you can buy spell formula or steal them or find them. And you know, the dead necromancer had for some reason Close Rift. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, he's got Close Rift. Now I got Close Rift because I took his spell and I wrote it in my spell book, and bam, I got Close Rift now. You know, there's a whole process for learning it, but that's for another time. Now, what else we got? Okay, now we go to skills. Now, on your left is the O.C.C. skills. These are the skills that every shifter has. On the top right, these are the O.C.C. related skills. I chose 6 from a list of 20 that this specific shifter decided to have. And then below that is secondary skills from the same list, 2 more skills, but they do not get an inherent bonus. These are skills that were not part of the prime curriculum that your teacher taught you, but were, you know, kind of like you gathered during your training. Now, all these percentages that you see below me right here, they are the end result. What it says in the book is, let's say astronomy, plus 20%. Now, what that means is you take the base for that skill, which is in the book, everyone starts out at level 1. When you get astronomy, you get 30%. Okay, and then because it's an OCC skill, I get that base plus 20, which makes 50, and on and on. I went and did all that for you, and I got all that. Now, every time you gain a level, all the skills you currently have increase by a certain amount, depending on the skill. Like some skills will increase 5% per level, or 2% per level, or 7% per level. It's per each skill. And it's all marked clearly in the book, so that's not a problem. You don't have to do a whole lot of math. Just say, okay, I went up a level, all my skills go up by boom, 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 and do it. You're good. Now, I want you to look at the secondary skill list. You see running?
Yeah.
Doesn't have percentage there.
Nope.
Does it? Because that is a physical skill. It just means I have trained myself in long distance running. And what did that give me? It gave me +1 PE, +1 physical endurance. That means my hit points just went up by 1. It was what, 11? Now it's 12. Plus 44 speed. I had an 8, and I rolled 44 at 7. So now I have a 15.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And my SDC went up by 2. I rolled a D6, got a 2. So it means I have more SDC now. Instead of 22, I have 24. Like I said,
that's always something I found interesting about the Palladium systems, how you could take skills and actually raise your physical stats. Like I took bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. So I always liked that.
And as you go up in level in secondary skills, especially at levels 3, 6, 9, and 12, you get to choose 1 or 2 more. You can choose physical skills and then increase your stats and your SDC and hit points again later on in game, permanently. By doing this.
I will say, however, I don't think I ever made a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character that did not take acrobatics and/or gymnastics.
Yes, because those are very powerful. Now the problem is with Shifter.
No, Shifter don't do that.
No, it actually says you are not allowed to take boxing, gymnastics, wrestling, weightlifting.
Anything that raises useful physical stats.
Yes, those are the 4 biggies. Those are the 4 big ones. They raise SDC. They raise attacks, hand-to-hand attacks per round. They raise initiative. They raise physical strength, physical endurance, physical prowess. All of the fighter type stuff. Shifter was not allowed to take as a related or secondary skill.
Well, I think you made a good choice. You said you couldn't outrun a tortoise.
There you go. Yeah, my running was 8, and I wanted to be able to run away from stuff, so I decided that running was probably a good plan. Yeah. So anyway, I also took seduction just because.
You know what? When you're dealing with extra-dimensional woogies, you never know what'll come in handy.
Exactly. That I'm also taking advantage of my high mental affinity. I get a plus 50% bonus to trust and intimidate.
Ooh, there you go.
And part of seduction is gaining the trust of the other person. So I get a plus 50% to that. So that's good.
There you go.
Nicely. All right, and after that comes your alignment. Choose your alignment. Now, here I just cut and paste from the book the examples of the 3 most likely alignments that in a heroic campaign the game master will allow you to have. Now, sometimes they'll let you have unscrupulous. Sometimes they'll let you have unscrupulous.
I don't know. Anarchist isn't that bad.
Anarchist does not go well with groups. That's their thing.
Depends. So, if you're one of those jerks who's gonna say, "Well, my alignment says I'm an independent, so screw out of you," well then no. But if you're someone who's like, I don't mind working on my own, but I don't mind working with you guys either, that's another way to play it.
That's another way to go, but usually people don't do that.
Well, yeah, usually they go the junior high. Well, I threw you in the mud puddle because it says in my alignment,
Yeah, exactly. So just play unprincipled or unscrupulous and shut up. All right, so what we have here, the 3 main alignments that you go is principled, scrupulous, and unprincipled. Principled is your paladin. Lawful good, letter of the law and spirit of the law. Always do what's right.
Try and be a good person. You're a Dudley do right.
I was going to say first name Dudley, last name. Yep, there you go.
There you go.
Scrupulous is more like your, you know what, the law's there for a reason, but sometimes stuff slips through the cracks. So sometimes you got to go beyond the law to pick up what the law missed. Okay, I get it. But for the most part, they're very, very close to each other. Except
if there's a bomb in the city and you think waterboarding will save everyone, you could be convinced if you're scrupulous to waterboard. A principled person would not.
No. A principled person could never be convinced that waterboarding is a good idea. A scrupulous person,
it would take a lot of convincing.
It would take a lot, but his net is wide enough for that to fit in his worldview in some situation.
Right.
And then there's unprincipled. This is the highest morally of the selfish alignments. Now, this is more like what Han Solo ended up being.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not what he started. He started off not anarchist, but unscrupulous. Whereas, he will screw you to get ahead, whether you're good or bad. But because hey, me and mine come first. But unprincipled is no. I'm only going to screw over bad guys. I'm not going to screw over good guys. If I give my word of honor, like I got to keep it. If I just tell you something, I'll lie. I could lie. That's fine, especially if you're a bad guy.
Especially a bad guy, because you're evil anyway.
Yeah, and whereas a principled and scrupulous person will not take any ill-gotten gains. Like, for example, a principled person will not loot the ill-gotten goods of the evil dead necromancer. A scrupulous person will 99% of the time will not loot the dead necromancer's lair for stuff. The unprincipled guy will definitely loot the dead necromancer's lair for stuff. He's not using the stuff. I can't give the stuff back because the people he took the stuff from are dead. I guess it's not my stuff.
The guy will take it if the evil necromancer's still alive too. He doesn't care.
Yeah,
you're an evil necromancer. I can take your stuff.
Yes, I'm just gonna take your stuff because you don't deserve that stuff. You're a bad dude.
That's right.
He'll do that. It's fine. It's a lot more fun playing unprincipled, but scrupulous. I have not myself had fun in a party either playing or playing with someone who is principled. It usually just gets in the way, especially in Rifts. Rifts is a post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, Rifts is rough. Rifts is
it is not for the faint of heart, or the bright of soul.
The principled people end up getting eaten by the vampire kingdoms.
Usually yes. So those are your three main ones that you're probably going to choose from. My character would choose scrupulous or unprincipled. I am leaning toward unprincipled just because it gives me some leeway.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, rounding out the character. Well, we got equipment. You get all this equipment for free. Traveling clothes, nice party clothes, MDC armor, backpack, hunting knife, waterproof matches, compass, PDA, whatever. You get all that. There's a long laundry list that I didn't feel like replicating here, but you get all that for free. Money. 1d6 times 1,000. I snake-eyed that one, rolled a 1. So I got 1,000 credits in cash money. But on the other side, in BMI, that's black market items. I box card that one. I got a 6. Well,
you better be unscrupulous.
Yeah, I better be because I got lots of stuff that's not legal to sell, but it's worth $6,000. So yay! And then you got the other stuff that I decided not to go over on the stream, which is birth order, height, weight, age, hair color, all that stuff that it's between you and your maker. Like whatever. Disposition. Are you mean? Are you bitter? Easygoing? Thrill seeker? Peacemaker? Adventurer? Scholar? What is your what you put into the world? How you come off to other people. That's disposition.
Yeah.
Family origin. Did you come from a small village? Did you come from a big city? Were you a farmer? Or was your family a farmer and you ran away to become an adventurer because you didn't want to be a farmer? Whatever. That's your life story. Put it in there. Now, how do you feel about specific groups? How do you feel about the Coalition? How do you feel about the Laszlo? How do you feel about the Federation of Magic? Well, I'm a shifter, so I don't like the Coalition because they kill shifters.
Yeah, and I'd be against that too.
Yeah. So I have a dim view to people who want to kill me, especially being unscrupulous.
Strangely.
Yeah. Now, what's your reason for adventuring? Is it just is knowledge? Do you want an adventure? Do you want to get rich? Do you want to see the world? Whatever. Write it all out here. This is your story. This is the story up to now. So write it all out.
I like Duncan's response.
What's that?
It says, my family were circus performers. I'd like to join a more extreme circus.
Yeah, that could do it.
That's a good reason.
That's a good reason to. Now, after all this is done, let's see what a character sheet looks like. Boom.
They were not a fan of my trapeze over flaming shark pit. I don't know why.
There you go. This is page 1 of your character sheet. And all I did was put in all the numbers that we rolled up here right now. All right. Experience level 1, experience 0. Obviously, I haven't done anything yet. SDC's there. This is the modified SDC. Hit points are there, the modified hit points. All of my stats that are modified because of my skills, my PPE, all of my skills, OCC related, secondary. And if we go to the next page, we see, oh, look, there's my hand-to-hand combat. I got basic for free, and that's what you get for basic. You get 4 attacks per round. You get +2 to pull punch and +2 to roll with punch fall. Roll with punch is an awesome mechanic that is exclusive to Palladium, where if you know you're going to get hit, you're going to take the hit, but you're going to roll with it. Like someone punching in the face, you're going to move your head with their fist. You'll take half damage. If there's an explosion, you'll jump in the air away from the explosion.
In slow motion.
And usually it's slow motion if it were a movie, and you'll take half damage from that explosion, stuff like that. And then we have our body armor. You get, like I said, you get light body armor for free. And I chose the Huntsman, not environmental armor, because I got a rebreathe mask for free too. And it gives you the MDC by location. In the book, I just plopped in the numbers. I have a hunting knife. I have a C18 laser pistol, pew pew. 10 shots per clip, 4 clips.
Don't go hunting with it.
Yeah, that's what the hunting knife is for. You know, I have wilderness survival, so I can make little traps and eat rabbit and squirrel and stuff.
Why don't you make an extraterrestrial portal big enough for a space rabbit, and then you can eat those?
There you go, yeah. And let's see what else we got. In the bottom left-hand side, we have all of our saving throws. I don't have a lot of bonuses because you saw my stats. They were all very average.
Yes.
And mental affinity doesn't give you bonus to any saves. Now I get my +3 for mind control, possession, and +4 for horror factor because I'm a shifter, so I have that in there. Now the cool thing about saving throws for Palladium is they're all the same. They're not differentiated by class or race. They're all the same. As you can see, if you look hard enough, or if Garthon makes it big screen, save versus lethal toxin 14. You have to roll a 14 or higher on a d20. Non-lethal toxin 16 or higher. Harmful drugs, 15 or higher. Disease, 14 or higher. You know, it's all a base plus your modifier. You roll your d20. It's the same for everybody. Just the modifiers are different depending on how tough you are.
Great, man.
And there are pages 3, 4, and 5 of this character sheet. That's for vehicle and spells, to write out all your spells, how much they cost, what they do. You know, but of course I'm not gonna do that here. Just to explain all the spells that you get that you can just read the book for, you know, and stuff like that. But that's all what that's for. You know, I get a hover cycle for free.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean it's not great. It's a cheap.
It gets you around. It's the moped of hover.
It's the moped of hover cycles, but it's free. Shut up. You know. So there you go. Now, we're at the end of our character generation. How long did that take? That was like what, 20 minutes?
About 30 minutes.
I don't know, maybe a little under, but I want to tell you the differences between old Shifter and new Shifter. Here is old Shifter. Old Shifter's powers. Spells. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 spells total.
Like ever?
In the beginning.
Okay.
He gets 11 spells. That's it. The Shifter here got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 2 dozen spells just right off the bat. Boom. And does he get new spells every level? No. None. He gets no spells for just leveling. No, he has to go out and find them. He has to kill that necromancer to get his spells.
Or have them whispered into his ear by an evil extraterrestrial,
or have him whisper his ear by an evil extraterrestrial being. Exactly right. So he gets no extra spells. Okay. Magical bonus. Now this is where he got a little weaker in the new edition. In the old edition, he was +7 to save versus horror factor.
Dang.
And +1 to save versus magic at levels 3, 7, 10, and 13. So he gets better and better at resisting other things magic. PPE, same. That didn't change. Dimensional Rift Home. Now, the old Shifter can Dimensional Rift Home from any dimension for 150 PPE. Now, if you remember, or if Garthon moves to page 1 of my character sheet, I have a grand total of 110. So if I walk into a rift, I'm stuck.
Forever.
Because creating a rift costs, Dimensional Porter costs 1,000.
Yes.
And Reopen Gateway, which is like I can reopen the gate I just went through, that costs 180. Well, that's not helping me, man.
No, it is not.
That's more.
You have 110.
That's more. In the Ultimate Edition, the one I created this one with, it only costs 75 to gate home.
Yay! You can
That's
actually
yourself.
make it home now.
Yes, now you can make it home from anywhere. You can walk into any rift anywhere, and at first level, you're going to get home. Bare minimum, you're going to be able to get home. Because it takes 4 seconds for the special ability.
So when making the class, either someone didn't do the math or someone thought it'd be funny.
Yes. Or both. Maybe it was both. All right.
I don't know. The way Palladium Books was then, I think they thought it'd be funny.
I think they thought it'd be funny. Okay. Sense rifts. It's pretty much the same. They're able to sense when a rift is open within 50 miles of them, of their current location. Oh, there's a rift about 40 miles that way. In the Ultimate Edition, you get more information. You get general strength of the rift. Was it created naturally or by a spell? Does it connect to a PPE rich environment? Stuff like that. How big is it? It's all that cool stuff. You get that information as well.
That's convenient.
Yeah, it is. Now, what the Ultimate and the Old Book has in common that they didn't fix is the familiar power. A shifter gets the ability to bind an animal to him. It increases his hit points, increases some of his saving throw bonuses, but it has tremendous amounts of drawback, which made it not feasible ever.
Right.
Because there are 2 rules. 1, it must be 3 rules. It must be a living animal. 2, it must not have anything higher than really, really good animal intelligence. So no talking dogs or horses. No Mr. Eds.
Oh.
And 3, it must not be supernatural. Now,
everything's supernatural.
Yeah, no. This means that you can get a bat, a squirrel, a cat, a dog, whatever, a regular SDC creature.
And the first time you're hit by an AoE MDC attack,
that the dog is dead. Now, the problem with that is if your familiar dies, you lose permanently 10 hit points.
There's no way of getting it back, even by summoning a new familiar.
Nope. Can't get him back. Now, getting a familiar while the bond is active gives you +6 hit points.
Yay!
But when he dies, you lose 6. You lose 10, so you're netting a loss of 4.
Oh, I thought you lost 16 because you lost that.
No. You're netting a loss of 4. All right. But still, for a little squishy SDC creature, that's stupid. Now, it doesn't specifically recant that in the Ultimate Edition book. There are examples in other source books where shifters had supernatural familiars that were MDC creatures and had supernatural level strength.
No, that'd be all right.
But it never errated it. It never changed that in the book or in any errata, official errata after that. So it's a dumb power. It's dumb. You're never going to want to do it.
Right.
Very minuscule bonuses for huge drawbacks. Huge drawbacks. Now, Link to the Supernatural. It's the same in both books. It's not smart, especially at first level. You have to vet this supernatural creature greatly. But you get, if you link yourself to a supernatural entity, that is something of greater demon level or higher, or god level or higher. You visit Rifts, Greece, and you're able to make contact with Hercules.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And Hercules looks upon you with favor and says, "Yes, you are doing good works, and I will help you do good works. You will be my minion, and I will give you this power." Well, this is the power that you can get. You get an additional, right off the bat, permanently, 1d6 times 10 PPE.
Oh, that's nice.
That's good. An additional 1d4 times 10 SDC.
That's good too.
An additional +3 versus horror factor, +2 save versus magic and psionic attacks, +1 on all initiative rolls. Now that's hard to get. There's 1 skill and some cybernetics and 1 superpower that gives you bonuses to initiative, just right off the bat. If you get hand-to-hand, commando or assassin, you'll get of it eventually throughout the level progression. But at level 1, getting a +1 initiative is really good. That's a good deal. And you get your choice of 6 additional spells from levels 6 to 14.
Jeez. Right
off the bat. Boom. As soon as you make the pact, you get all that. Right off the bat. Now, it's almost exactly the same in the Ultimates book as it is in the original book. But the dangers of it cannot be understated. Especially at level 1, you're not really good at vetting these supernatural entities. He could just be lying to you, and then you've hooked yourself up to a greater demon, and you thought it was to hurt or whatever, and ends up being Gulgrashu, the devourer of skulls. Ah, crap. Now you're permanently the minion thrall of Gugasha, the eater of
So
skulls.
now you're collecting skulls.
Yes, exactly. You're collecting skulls for your master to eat or crunch or whatever. Yes, not great. Not great at all.
No.
All right. And yeah.
You just want to join a more extreme circus, now you're collecting skulls.
There's your extreme circus. Circus master is a 5-headed demon that crunches skulls. Good job. No, but yeah, so the ultimate changes to the shifter made him playable.
Not great, but playable.
Not great, but before he was just a detriment, just worthless. But now he's useful, especially since, now this is the kicker. What if your entire team went through a rift? And now they want to get back. Well, you could go home right now. Beep, whip, and you're home. Can't bring them.
All right. Himnoa said, how do you say you'd be the best at everything? Are they asking what the best class is? Like, what do you think, like, a more rounded class is?
Well-rounded. Magic-wise, well-rounded is the Line Walker. I mean, he is the jack of all trades. I mean, for a magic class, he's it.
All right, if you wanted to make a class, just a character from the Rifts book, that you just wanted to be able to like kill everything and be awesome, which would it be?
Oh, kill everything and be awesome. Okay,
yes.
That would be.
I'd pick
Juicer.
Yeah,
yeah. It would be a Juicer, a full conversion cyborg.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
A Mind Melter. I know you don't like it, but
no, Mind Melter's good. People. They have some drawbacks.
They have some drawbacks, but they can literally snap their fingers and kill a Borg.
That's true. That's true.
Boom. There is a supersonic power called Evil Eye, I believe it is, that it does 1d4 hit points damage immediately, even if you save. A full conversion cyborg has 1d4 hit points. Dead. Dunk. That, 1 million credits worth of metal and power and plasma ejectors just died, crumpled right in front of you.
Which is
Mind Melter, very strong. Right. Very strong. Juicer, extremely strong.
Well, that's part of the reasons why Mind Melters are kill on sight from the Coalition.
Yes, yeah. For the Coalition, Mind Melters are kill on sight. They don't even question it. Dead. Because, they're insidious and evil according to the Coalition. They're just really strong. They're the strongest in the main book. The strongest psychics in the main book.
No, the idea of not being able to wear plate armor and casting spells is a Dungeons and Dragons theme. In Rifts, you could wear heavy combat armor, still be able to cast spells, use mental powers.
Yes, you can. There is no spell failure for armor in Rifts. The only detriment is you can't be in a robot. You have to be in armor or light power armor.
Right.
And then you can still cast spells. I'm not even 100% about the Ultimate Edition if they change the power armor thing. But definitely any unpowered armor you can be in and cast spells with no detriment whatsoever.
And there's some really tough unpowered armor. I do like the idea of not being able to cast you if you're wearing plaid, though. That just abuses me.
On top of that, there is the spell Armor of Ithan that gives you 10 MDC invisible shell armor for every level of experience you have.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's invisible. No one can see it. People are going to think you're weak when you're actually not, stuff like that. So it's good. So if you wanna just go from level 1 and start beating heads, Juicer, Borg, Mind Melter, Leyline Walker. Those are your 4 choices. Now the easiest ones obviously are the Juicer and the Borg. They're all physical, guns, punching, smash, kill.
Very hard to
kill. The Mind Melter and the Line Walker, you have to understand magic and psionics. You have to do a little reading, do a little research, but done properly, just as combat effective, which is ultimately combat effective.
So every time you play Scarlet Shoot, we're doing a plate wearing mage. It ain't cheating. That's the way the game's supposed to be played.
That's the way it is.
Well, I usually end up stealth with a bow and arrow. I just am used as the snot out of me. That's just me. All right. Well, thank you, Heathen Dog, for your Rifts Ultimate. That's really interesting. The Shifter actually was not as bad as I remember.
No, Ultimate's really the Ultimate Edition really helped it out. And if you didn't like my review, you liked my review. You have something to add, something I missed, something that's in your home game that you think is better, throw it in chat. If you're watching on YouTube, leave it in the comments below. Like, subscribe, please.
Absolutely. And if you want,
I will respond. I will read it, respond, and we may get into a fight about it, but that's what the internet's for.
That's true. Thank you about more Heathen Dog. You can check more of his Heathen Dog, his anime and RPG segments on YouTube, as well as his team-ups with me, Heathen Dog, in Warframe and Star Trek Online. Have a lot of fun doing that. Check out his past streams going through Star Trek with Buck Fats McCool. Playing Monopoly Plus, that's War of Mine, Amnesia, Outlast. All sorts of great stuff to watch in his past streams.
Yep. The list is too long to fit in the frame. So, yeah, check out our YouTube page, and you'll see all the Heathen Dog streams.
Can shifters use Portal to set up a death-defying loop-de-loop over a pit of flaming spikes?
Ah, you're thinking of Portal the game?
Yeah, that's more like Portals. That's not Rifts.
No. In the Ultimates edition, thank you, Duncan, for being you, because you reminded me of something that the shifter can now do in the Ultimate rulebook.
Which is
they can open a portal to the same planet.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, it costs half as going to another dimension.
Whoa.
But let's say you're in Kansas and you want to go to Atlantis.
Chinatown or something. Oh, okay.
All the way to Atlantis. It costs half the PPE, and you step through, and you're somewhere in Atlantis. Or you want to go to England, you'll be somewhere in England.
That's
the higher
really
level
good.
you get, the more you can like narrow that down, dial that in to your destination. But starting at first level, you can just get the right continent.
That is really good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Doc. Also, check out his streams Monday at 8 p.m. for Overlord.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now everyone, it is time once again